Hello and welcome back, everyone. These are Alteryx tutorials. I am Mark Thompson with Watermark Data. In today's session, we're going to be covering weekly challenge number 164. And in this challenge, we have an amount of information about women's clothing. And our idea is to identify the clothing that has the highest average rating. And we're only going to take those items that have 10 positive feedback reviews. And we want to know the 5 highest rated clothing items in each class. If you look at the data out here, we've got a name, a department, and a class name. And then, of course, we've got the individual clothing item. Let's go ahead and get started. Here we begin with our data, and we want to end with what are the top ranked items. First thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up our data a little bit and ensure that we've indeed got number fields where it's numbers and text where it's text. Now the first thing up in here, we've got our criteria that says at least 10 positive feedback. So the first thing we're going to do is filter this and come over here, and we've got this positive feedback count, and we're going to say positive feedback count is greater than or equal to 10. Positive count is greater than or equal to 10. And on the other side of that, we have it coming in. We've got 23,000 records, and going out, you can see we've trimmed that down now to 1,500 records. And you guys know me, you've been watching my videos, you know that I like to clean up and get rid of stuff. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this department name because we don't really need that either. We're interested in the items in each class. So this is what you need to think about when you do this. And I clean this up, but one of the things that does is a lot of times when you're doing analysis, you'll be given a lot of information, and a lot of it is just, it's distraction, it's noise, especially if you've got some kind of a test, let's say. It's going to get in the way. Isolate down and identify what you need to know. We need to know the class, we need to know the specific item, and we need to know what those ratings are. Next, we're going to go ahead and summarize that. And we're going to summarize it by class and by ID. We're going to group by, and then we're going to get an average rating for these. So what is the average rating? Next thing we want to do is we want to organize all of this and say, okay, we're going to sort it by class name, and then we're going to sort it by the average rating in a descending order so that we have our best ratings at the top of the list. Now, I've done this ranking and this sorting in 2 ways, and there's actually a third way that I didn't do, but really it's kind of the combination of the second way. And that is, you can take and you can rank something 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and everything that's rated in there is a top 5. Or you could simply go 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Well, that's 5 items, right? And so that's your top 5. And so I did it both ways for you, and you can think about how you want to do it, but be aware of that nuance when you're doing something with ranking. This first formula we've got here takes care of that actual ranking need, and you can see I've called this rank, and you can see the field here is rank. And what we do, and I use this formula fairly often, you can see the results on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, right? So this is saying, what this is saying is, if the rank minus 1 is 0, so this is rank minus 1 would be 0, then 1. So that's first in the. Else if the average rating of the current row equals the average rating of the row minus 1. So in other words, if these two, like these two do, this is average row and this is average minus 1. Well, if those two are equal, then take the rank from the row minus 1, the row minus 1 rank. So if this is equal to that, then take this rank and put it here. Else, row minus 1, like you've got here, plus 1, which would be 5. And so this is how you come up with a rank that identifies, hey, these two are equal. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we were doing top 5, that would be what you'd have. If we're ranking it, then you've got one more. Following along this line, we now take and we come up here and we say, hey, if rank is less than or equal to 5, include it. And this is what you've got, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. And there are other instances. In this case, we've got a 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bunch of 5s, right? So there's a whole bunch of addresses, and they all had a 4.25 rating. Now, if we come down here, I just do a simple count. Say, hey, count all of the items. So we count all of the items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many do you have in the blouses? And then the dresses start over, and we count the dresses. And notice that I've got these grouped by class name. So it just starts recounting on every one. I should come back here and note that this one too, we have this grouped on class name for this first grouping. But now we've got 1 through however many, and the only thing we're doing here is we're saying same thing, count is less than or equal to 5, so we capture our top 5. But in this case, you can see that our blouses, the 1, 1, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is the equivalent of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that wraps it up for today. Hope this has been informational. I am Mark Thompson. This is Watermark Data. These have been Alteryx tutorials. If you like what you saw, please hit like, please hit share. And as always, we welcome your feedback. We will see you next time.